Was asked what he does in his spare time, and he said golf, and he'd swap half his titles for a better golf swing. Is that a fair assessment of his golf? And what do you do? What do you hit in your spare time to get your hand around?
Well, I can give him my very little technique on golf, and he can give me half of his trophies. We can do that. I'm happy with that.
Have you played against him? Do you beat him?
I play with him 1 or 2 times, but I'm not very good. That's a good deal for me.
Another thing which Pep was saying last week, he was talking about Jack Grealish and saying the statistics for Grealish of goals and assists don't really do justice his contribution to the team. And although Martin Odegaard's statistics are better this season, it's been suggested that people don't really appreciate how much Martin brings to the team. Can you explain, without giving away any secrets, what it is that how important he is and how he's really stepped up this season?
Well, Martin for us is a really important player, that's for sure. He's showing that every single week. He's phenomenal to work with. He's developing areas of his game that we discussed, that he agreed, and that we believe that could impact football matches in a much more powerful way. And his whole mindset, the way he prepares himself, the way he treats people, the way he plays the game, is just exactly what we want from an Arsenal player.
And as I said, although he's got some more goals and assists this season than he did last season, how do you measure his contribution to the team? What is it that those statistics don't capture that he does in your particular system?
Well, the thing that you cannot capture is for example the interaction and the chemistry that he has and he produces with other players on the pitch when he's there. How the team functions when he's there and when he's not there. That's really difficult to measure. But it's something that Martin is exceptional at, because he makes the people around him better.
And what are the areas you said, and he agreed, could be improved in his game that he hasn't?
He needs to play closer to the opponent's box, that's for sure, because he needs to create more goals, he needs to score more goals, he needs to make more runs in behind, he needs to be closer to the strikers to give them support, and he can do that. He needs to score more free kicks, he can still contribute more on our set pieces. His defensive work is phenomenal, as you can see. So there are areas that he can only get better, and the only way to get better is to agree on them and then practice.
In terms of his leadership as well, as a leader on the pitch, has he lived up to what you hoped he would provide?
Yes, but he had a label at 16 years old because he went to Real Madrid. So you put a label on a player, it's extremely difficult to now modify that label. I think he's doing it. He's doing it the right way. He's the national team captain at the moment. He's one of the senior players up there for sure, even at his age, and it comes very natural for him.
Finally, just going back to the question which Gary was talking about in relation to the losses that the club announced and what the financial problem will be. We've seen at the moment what can happen. We've seen for 20 years Chelsea have been the #1 team in London and one of the biggest teams with the support of a billionaire who's prepared to put £1.5 billion into it. Do you wish Arsenal had someone who's putting that kind of money into Arsenal, or does what is currently happening in the uncertainty at Chelsea show that is not sustainable?
We have an owner that is putting money in the club for many years now, and our responsibility was, while we are doing that, to be able to recruit and improve the team and the club and the facilities to a different level. We have to trim the number of players that we have, the number of staff that we had, and start to clean the surface to build what it could be sustainable in the end. So we are already in the process of that for the last 2 years.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Sorry, another age question quickly. Your own 40th is coming up in a few weeks. I just wondered if you've got any plans to celebrate and what you'd like to do for your birthday.
No, normally I don't celebrate my birthday a lot. Normally, if you know my wife or my friends, they do something. I heard a few things, so they were planning to do something. They know that I don't really like surprises, but I can't control it, so let's wait. I understand it's an important number, and probably I'm going to start to look at myself in a different way after that.
What would be a nice surprise, or a surprise that you really wouldn't want?
Just to have my loved ones next to me, my family, obviously, my kids, my wife, my friends, whoever is there, and they know what I like, so if it's a surprise, I think it would be a good one.
And just back to football, obviously it's been a good run of results, but I think if you look month by month at Arsenal's season, there's been a kind of good bad month. I just wondered how frustrating have those kind of big swings in form be, and how do you eradicate that and get more consistent over the course of longer periods?
Well, that's what the Premier League winners they don't have. They have good, very good, very good, very good, very good, very good, very good. And that's what we have to achieve, and that's why we are still not there. And consistency is a big word. Not that much related to performances, but as well how you're able to get results.
And what practical things can you do that you see, in the teams above you that you say have very good months? What is it that?
I think the best teams, they have a killing instinct and a mentality that is only win. And win today and tomorrow and the next day in training and the following one, and that culture and that education has to be set, and it takes a little bit of time, and that's what we need, because the moment that is installed, not only the players but the staff around it, or the coaches, or the club, or the directors, or the board and the crowd, then it's extremely powerful.
So was that missing when you turned up, and what do you feel like you are on the road to developing that?
Hopefully we are in the road, but we are not there. And obviously we are in a road that it's much quicker and wider than before, because the teams here used to win the league with 85, 86 points. Now to win the league you might need 100 points. So that's a different dimension of a league.
How has your trust in the team changed, Mikel, over the season? Because perhaps early in the season you look at maybe like the Everton result where you go ahead and you then lose it, and then the Wolves game where you're behind. But yet they kept on going and kept on. How's the trust that you have in them, and maybe the trust they have in themselves, changed over the season?
I think my trust on them, it's been very similar. Probably my belief in what they can do sustainably for longer periods during matches is higher and bigger now. Probably you are able to transmit that to the players somehow, even if it's not intentionally. The players 100% believe much more in their abilities, in their resilience, in how they can win football matches, and that's key, because at the end it's not what we want, it's how they feel in there, and if they really have the sense that it's up to us.
The record against the smaller teams is pretty good this season. The record against the bigger teams maybe not so good. Can you finish in the top four without necessarily with just beating the lesser teams?
I don't think so, and we need the games like we play against Manchester City at home. When you play at that level, you have to win the match. But you cannot win the match when you play 10 men against Manchester City for a long period, for example.
In the context of obviously announcing quite large losses, it's predictable. This summer you're going to squad with 20 players, 3 of them are out of contract. Is it realistic to be able to sign maybe 7, 8 players this summer? Is that going to be realistic in the overall scheme of how you can go about a transfer window?
I don't know what is going to happen at the end of the season. We will discuss it and try to assess and make a plan that can work financially, that can be sustainable, and obviously that has a huge impact in the team, because every window has to be a way and a form for us to take the club to the next level.